Welcome back to Animal Crossing New Horizons. I'm Dear Darling. Shall we see what's going on our lovely island of Fawnhallow today, where we'll be relaxing as per usual. I was planning on maybe streaming today. Probably will not happen. Mainly because I was doing something in the morning and I thought it would mainly just be the morning, but then we watched a movie as well. So then it took up all the way till now. So now there's not really much time to stream because I also need to record some videos because I won't have time tomorrow. But yeah, hello everyone. Excuse me, as well. Right now in Fawnhallow, it's 5:55 p.m. on Saturday, June 7th, 2025. What I'm going to talk about is, well, I'm not going to talk about the entire thing. You might be like, what movie did you watch? We watched Mission Impossible: Final Reckoning, which is the final part of the Mission Impossible series. I don't know if that's like it, or maybe it's just it for now. I don't know. But the one which came before, I watched while I was on holiday. About skiing holiday. I can't remember what it was. Let's see. Mission Impossible movies. Now, I've never actually seen a Mission Impossible movie, to be honest. Dead Reckoning Part 1, Final Reckoning. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen any of the other Mission Impossibles. I no clue what they really are except for just like action movies, to be honest. I thought it was alright, you know. I didn't watch it and be like, whoa, this has an incredible amount of like, I don't know, like depth to its characters and stories. It's an action movie. It's there to have high stakes, high tension, and then to relieve that tension. And that exactly is, in my opinion, what it delivered on. It was thrilling. Its dialogue is like, it does that sort of thing where it's just like, oh, you know, it like circles back on itself a lot, except for it does it like in such heavy-handed ways that you're just like, okay, like, come on. But I will say it is absolutely thrilling, and it's still a very fun watch, I think. So yeah, but very dependent, I think, on who you are, whether that's your movie or not. Yeah, because I would say action movies aren't normally my sort of thing. I tend to not be so much of a moviegoer who is like, oh yeah, you know, I want to sort of shut my brain off while I watch something. Not to say that the things I watch are particularly highly intellectual or anything, but I know that's not a big justification, but people are like, I like reality because you just shut your brain off easy watching. I don't jive with that for whatever reason. Who knows? Again, I don't mean it in a way about like, my tastes are superior, because I don't think there's anything wrong necessarily with reality TV as long as it's not like exploitive. Anything at the end of the day, it's entertainment. It's entertainment. As long as it's entertaining, then it's kind of doing its job. But action movies, I don't think particularly jived with me much before. But maybe like nowadays, they kind of do. I don't know. I thought the Mission Impossible one was kind of fun. Like I didn't watch all of the previous Mission Impossible, and this one I didn't. Like I did kind of just sort of snooze in the beginning part of it. But like I did think otherwise it was, you know, quite engaging. You know, and I think what action movies tend to do quite well is the sort of thing of like, oh, you know, this is a 1 in a million chance, we got to do this thing. And there's no way it's going to happen, but we're the only ones who can do it sort of situation. And obviously it's very predictable every time. Of course we're going to do it. It would be super, super lame. If they didn't, they just like tried this thing and they just like died or something. You know it's gonna work out. Maybe one of them will die. Who knows? But it's very. I think it does well with its payoff. It sets up very predictable, I think, outlines of what it's gonna do, but the payoff feels quite cathartic, I think, every single time. Like in this one, you know, the plot is basically this big, like, idea that comes together, and it always goes the same way. Like, they've got this idea, a wrinkle comes up, how are they going to solve a wrinkle? And then it seems like there's no way they can solve it, but they do it somehow. And then they pull it out. They pull out the win, against all odds. It follows a very similar formula every time, but it's still very engaging, I think, every time, which is the important part. So, you know what? I'm all for it. It's not something that I think I would like choose to watch by myself, in the sense that I would never like be like, that movie's on, I've got to go to the cinemas to watch it. But in this case it was more like my friends want to watch it and I'm like, yeah, sure, I'll watch it as well. I've got no qualms of it. But yeah, honestly, I had a good time with it, which is what I can say is great. I can also say, the How to Train Your Dragon. There's a real life adaptation. What was it called? Live action adaptation. I was like, what do you call that type of movie again? Is it going to be good? I don't know. I haven't actually seen the first How to Train Your Dragon, which is absolutely crazy, I think, for me, because I do love animations. Absolutely, it's a revered one, to say the least. But I've not seen the first one. I've not seen any of them, in fact, which is crazy. I don't know. They somehow just passed me by. But anyway, there's a live action one. Is it going to be good? I don't know. I don't think it's really my place to say. Probably not. It's probably going to be some sort of cash grab, because, you know, it's very much landing on the sort of bandwagon which Disney are doing. Disney's just still make millions, billions of dollars or whatever from doing these live actions, despite the critical flops or whatever they've been. Critical hollowness in some aspects. But I will say that the movie theatre we went to, I saw that, like, on my poster things, they were selling a Toothless plush, Toothless being the main black dragon in How to Train Your Dragon, and I was like, that looks super cute, I want to buy it. And then, of course, I bought it with a ticket, so it was quite expensive. It was like £20, so it was basically as expensive as 2 of the cinema tickets. Because we went to a place called Cineworld, and, you know, there was 3 major, like, popular movie chain in UK, at least that we go to. View is our favourite because it's the cheapest and has the best seats. Cineworld, which is more expensive and has worse seats, and Odeon, which is more expensive, but the seats are pretty good, to be honest. So yeah, and they were apparently with some exclusive promotion they had. But the person who worked there was very nice. Because she said at the beginning, is like, oh yeah, it's got a magnet in it, and I was like, oh, cool, because I didn't understand. At the moment, being like, I don't really see what the benefit of having a magnet is for, but, you know, that seems cool. But she pointed at something, and I had no idea what she was pointing at, because I looked over, and it was like the slushy machines, and I'm like, I must be missing something. But I'll just be like, yeah, you know, cool, whatever. I mean, it's a plushie. I'll just be like, yeah, I'll nod along. And then when she sold it, she was like, yeah, attached to that label, there's a magnet in there. There's like a metal plate. You could put that metal plate on your shoulder, and it does the craziest thing. This Toothless can sit on your shoulder. And I was like, what? That's crazy. Like, what a cool idea. So I did it in the movie theatre, and I kept Toothless on my shoulder the entire time. It's absolutely adorable. It literally is just like a metal plate. Mind you, and I think maybe I'll talk more about it like tomorrow, because I guess we've already kind of started a whole action movie talk. Today, and I don't just say that because I did a thumbnail art already. What, in those first few minutes. But yeah, it was a really cool plushie. That's about that. But yeah, action movies, like, I'm not crazy for action movies. I think they're totally fine. I've got nothing against them. If you love them, more power to you. I will certainly say though, they're not always my cup of tea. But I will say, I think a rare exception to this is a movie series called Now You See Me. It's not, I wouldn't say it's an action movie, but I would say if, like, you know, Die Hard, Mission Impossible are strength-based action movies, Now You See Me is like a dexterity-based action movie. It's very frivolous, it's over the top, it's dramatic for no apparent reason, it makes no conceivable sense, but it's engaging to watch because it's fun to think of, it's fun to engage with and watch these crazy concepts they come up with in the movie. Like a scene where they're all like tossing a card back and forth to each other to make sure that the guards don't see it, and then these like elaborate heists which just need the perfect opportunity to rise and for everything to just go on without a single hiccup. And that's exactly how it goes every single time. You know it's going to work out. That is, in my opinion, a lot of fun, and I can appreciate that a lot. But so Now You See Me 3 coming out, which should be fun. I've seen this one. I've actually seen both number 1 and number 2, and I enjoyed them a lot. Are they silly? Are they ridiculous? Are they completely not based in reality? Absolutely. They make no sense whatsoever. If you think about, well, okay, not all of them, but a lot of the things they do not make sense in a reality sense. But they're so fun that it's like, who cares, you know? That's what I think. So, yeah. That's what I guess my sort of like long and short of that is that action movies, like, again, there's not many action movies that I think I've watched. I'm trying to think off the top of my head, what action movies have I seen? There was like some disaster movie I watched with a Rock and his family. I don't think I can remember that, to be honest. So that's sort of like a bit of a moot point, one might say. But yeah, I don't know. What? Let's see. Popular action movie. Does James Bond count as action movie? I don't know. Inception's an action movie? Really? Okay, Mission Impossible Final Reckoning is a top. It's popular at the moment. No, I want to do top rated. Popularity. Really? This is the highest one at 7.5? No, it's not even. Lilo and Stitch is not an action movie. You are out of your mind. User rating. Is that like... Can I do like best rated? I don't want to do popularity, because popularity is just the ones which are popular now. US box office, how about this? Sure, whatever. Star Wars, okay. That's fair. I have seen Force Awakens. I thought it was pretty decent, to be honest. I wasn't like, this is the best movie I've ever seen, but I didn't hate it or anything. I thought it was quite nice. Avengers Endgame. That's an interesting one. I have seen Endgame? I think I've seen Endgame. I have seen Endgame. I saw... that's the thing, I keep forgetting. I've seen Endgame, and I haven't seen Infinity War, I'm pretty sure. Which boggles people's minds, I think, every single time. No Way Home? Is this the one I've seen, or is... Oh, this is the one with multiple Spider-Man. No, I've not seen this one. I'm not sure why I haven't seen that one, actually. Avatar? Top Gun. I've not seen a Top Gun. I think there's a new... No, there's a new Naked Gun coming out. Sorry, not Top Gun. Okay, there's a lot more, like, superhero movies on here, which I, kind of forgot that counts as an action movie. I'm thinking, like, Top Gun sort of movies, Not, like, sort of sci-fi or sci-fantasy things. I want, like, grounded, quote, in reality. Obviously not actually, but that's the idea behind it. Minecraft movie. Jurassic World. Okay, I didn't really think about Jurassic World being an action movie. I'm like thinking not superhero. Oh, Hunger Games. That's interesting. I guess it is an action movie. I did quite like Hunger Games, to be honest. I actually quite like it as a series. Jumanji. Transformers. I don't think I've seen... No, I've seen part of Bumblebee, Transformers. We walked out of a movie theatre. Not because it was actually that bad. I thought it was totally fine, in retrospect. At the time, I was not particularly enjoying it. For I don't even remember why. But we walked out because we were trying to do something for, like, almost... Like, we didn't have quite enough time to get to the end of it, for whatever reason. I don't remember why or what we were doing, but there you go. There's so many superhero movies on this list. Fast and Furious. Yeah, I've not seen any Fast and Furiouses. For Love and Thunder. Zootropolis? I don't know if Zootropolis is an action movie. Some of these are very strange. Conceptually. For what constitutes an action movie. Okay, it's not really what I wanted, IMDb. Rotten Tomatoes, what have you got for me? Running Scared. Hero. Equilibrium. Unstoppable. I don't know what most of these are. I'll keep scrolling till I know what. National Treasure? Is that action movie? I feel like I've actually seen that. Top Gun. Top Gun, I have no idea what it's about. Is it like by like a fighter pilot? Or something like that? Mr. and Mrs. Smith is an action movie? Oh, it's a rom-com. It's action romance. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, I don't know. I can appreciate an action movie, I think, now. I think probably when I was younger, I would be like, you wouldn't catch me dead watching an action movie. Because I'm sure I had some sort of like weird moral superiority about it, but nowadays I don't. Nowadays I'm like, I'll enjoy what I enjoy. If I don't like it, so be it. That just do be how it does. It's not how you speak English. And that's okay. Yeah. So I would say Mission Impossible Final Reckoning. I thought it was a lot of fun. Let's see what the r/movies discussion is about it. I've not been someone who's been like really keeping up with Mission Impossibles and been like, oh yeah, I've got to keep up with these sort of things to I've got to see what like Tom Cruise is up to, etc., etc. 15 days ago, I didn't realise it's that old now. Yeah, I don't really remember much of a plot, and honestly, I cannot remember most of the characters' names, apart from Ethan and Grace, and I don't think I can remember anyone else's off the top of my head. I can remember their characters, but not their names, because they're probably mentioned, like, only a few times. And it's very much, at least from my eyes, I think the action movies are very much like, you got to get this MacGuffin. This is a thing. How are they going to do it? The important thing is not what they need to do. The important thing is how they do it, and it needs to look cool. I also, there was a lot of times in this Mission Impossible where I felt like I was watching like a montage of a movie, because it just like randomly jumped ahead. Like there's a room where he's basically navigating a room full of missiles, and I guess it's implied being like, you can't touch any of them or everything will explode. Even though I think missiles are probably a bit of a higher impact than that to actually explode. Don't know if that's true necessarily, but that's kind of what I assumed. And then, like, the first time through, because he goes through it twice, the first time through he goes through, he, like, starts navigating a bit, and then it's just, like, jump cuts, kind of, like, to him at the end. I'm like, what happened to the rest of it? And it's pretty crazy, though. Some of the intensity of it, because I think with the action movie is gonna, you kind of need to sit back and be like, what? There's no way he's gonna do it, and then somehow he does it, every single time. I do kind of want to know how it was recorded, because I want to know how many of those stunts were like done for realsies, and I don't mean like done by Tom Cruise for realsies, because I actually think he does a lot of his stunts, but I mean like actually they replicated the scenario for the stunt to do it. I don't know how feasible that would be, but yeah, I don't know. A lot of cool stuff. So yeah, action movies, I don't know. They can be a lot of fun, I suppose. So I'm not going to turn up my nose at them. Anyway, on that note, I'm going to wrap this episode up here, because I realised I immediately like hit a wall of things to talk about. So if you have been watching, thank you very much. It's been Animal Crossing New Horizons. I've been Dear Darling. Likes, comments, subscription, shares, greatly appreciated. Socials, Discord down below. Hope to see each other again, but for now, it's our farewells. Until next time. Bye bye for now.